Hi guys, and welcome to another instalment of our Buying for Beginners series with me, Scott The Duke McHugh, and this time we are focusing on the Daemons of Chaos, and specifically the Denizens of Grandfather Nurgle. And like all our other Buying for Beginner videos, we'll be focusing on 3 competitive army lists and explaining the best value for money options for the units in each of those lists. Now, much of the Daemons of Chaos range is still produced by Games Workshop, as it is either available in Age of Sigmar or Warhammer 40,000, or both. Unlike some other ranges though, which still have the majority of their range produced, the special characters are still available for Demons as well, which is going to make this Buying for Beginners in particular significantly easier. Now though, on to the main event. I'm going to go through some competitive lists and take you through exactly what you need to buy for each unit or character and give you the best cost I could find for each of them. The first list is going to be 1,500 points, the second will be 2,000, and the final one will be a Triple Crown Wargaming event standard 2,500 point list. In each one, I'll try to keep as many of the units and characters the same, so you can slowly build up your Nurgle Demons of Chaos force and not end up with units sitting in a case gathering dust by the end of it. Although I think all of us are guilty of having those units that we used to use and no longer do. For the 1,500 point list then, I've got with me, we're jumping straight into the hero slot actually, with Epidemius, or Epi to his friends. In core, we've got 30 Plaguebearers of Nurgle with full command. Into special, and we've got 2 units of 3 Nurglings and 2 units of 3 Beasts of Nurgle. And finally, in rare, we've got a single unit of 4 Plague Drones of Nurgle. And these have full command, the Banner of Eternal Flame, and the Plague Proboscis upgrade. And yes, that is difficult to say. So, starting with the single hero in this list, and single character actually. Now, as I said at the beginning, all of the special characters are still produced by Games Workshop, and Epi is still sold for £32.50. He is direct only, so you're unlikely to find him any cheaper from any third party. On to core then, and we've got a single unit of 30 Plaguebearers, which, once again, are still sold by Games Workshop. They're £24 for 10, and as it's the same kit as was produced for Fantasy, it comes with all the command options you'll need. Now, this kit isn't direct only, so you're likely to find it at a better price elsewhere, and I found it for £18 from Boards and Swords Hobbies, although it is worth pointing out that they were out of stock at the time of recording, and with the recent GW price rise, this price could change. Assuming that £18 price tag from Boards and Swords stays the same though, that unit of 30 will cost you £54. Now then, on to the special slot, and I'm going to start with the Beasts of Nurgle. Games Workshop fairly recently released a new Beast of Nurgle kit. Well, I say recently, probably over a year ago now, but that is very rare for a Warhammer Fantasy unit. However, as the demons are in both AOS and 40k, you do have the luxury of the range still being supported. That being said, that support does come with its downsides, namely in this case being the price. The Games Workshop currently sell a single Beast of Nurgle for £30. Now, if you did want to get the GW Beast models, then the 6 in this army would cost you £180. They are available from third-party retailers at £22.50, although again, these were out of stock, so could go up in line with the recent GW price rise. Even at £22.50 each, you'd be spending £135 on those 6 models. Now, there is a solution. Titanforge produce a Descendants of Decay box, which includes 3 models, which are perfect for Beasts of Nurgle. They even come with 40mm square bases, although it is worth pointing out some boxes have square bases and some have round, and it seems that it's a bit of a sort of luck of the draw as to which variant you get. If you like these models though, and we certainly do, and you would have seen them on the battle reports where I have used my Nurgle Demons, then you'll save yourself a fortune, as the box of 3 is just £23.40 from Element Games. So the 6 would come to just £46.80. That's quite a saving. We do like to use GW models where these are still available, but when the savings are this significant and the models are that good and fit that well with the rest of the GW range, it really does make sense to go to a third party. The next unit in this list was the Nurglings. These happy little fellows come in a box of 3 for £21 from GW or £15.75 from Boards and Swords, again with that caveat on currently being out of stock. So for the 2 units, you'd need to spend another £31.50. The final unit for this list is a unit of 4 Plague Drones of Nurgle. Now these come in a box of 3 for £36 direct from GW, and they are unfortunately direct only, so you're unlikely to find them discounted anywhere else. So for that unit 4, that would cost you £72. And that wraps up the first list, and we're up to a total of £236.80 if you go with the Descendants of Decay from Element Games, and all the non-direct only from Boards and Swords at the current prices. This does include a couple of spare plague drones, so you can vary the list slightly without having to spend any more. Next, I'm going to move on to the 2,000 point list. This, again, contains the Old Faithful Epi, and alongside him this time we have a Herald of Nurgle BSB with a Greater Gift and the Lesser Locus of Virulence. Onto core, and we have a unit of 24 Plaguebearers with full command and the Standard of Discipline, and a unit of 21 Plaguebearers, again with full command but no magic banner this time. Onto special, and we have the same 2 units of 3 Beasts of Nurgle, and this time 2 units of 2 Nurglings, as I had to drop some points to get everything in I wanted. This time in the rare slot though, I've got 2 units of 3 Plague Drones. Both have the Plague Proboscis upgrades. Both have a Musician and Standard Bearer. One has the Banner of Eternal Flame, and the other has the Gleaming Pennant. So, what do you need to add to this list over the first? Well, you get all the Plague Drones you need from the 2 boxes you bought for that first list. The only other things we need to add are a Herald of Nurgle and 15 more Plaguebearers. Now, Games Workshop make a couple of different Herald options. The best for a BSB, though, is the Poxbringer, in my opinion. Now, he's £18, but he is direct only from GW, so you're unlikely to find him elsewhere for any less. He's got some spines and bones and things coming out of his back, and it's really simple to add a spare banner from one of your boxes of Plaguebearers, for instance, onto him to make him into that BSB. As I went through before, the Plaguebearers are £24 a box from GW or £18 from Boards and Swords. You'd need 2 more boxes for this list, so that'd add another £36 to the total. And that's it. That's all you need to up the 1,500 point list to a 2,000 point list. With those additions, the running total for the army is currently sitting at £290.80. With that, you'll have 2 spare Nurglings, as we've dropped the unit sizes down from the first list, and 5 spare Plaguebearers. Now, the final list of today's video is made up of, you guessed it, Epi again. I also have the same Herald of Nurgle BSB with a Greater Gift, although this time he doesn't have a Locus. Alongside them, I also have another Herald of Nurgle with a Greater Gift and the Lesser Locus of Virulence. Into core then, and I have a unit of 29 Plaguebearers with full command and the Standard of Discipline, next to another unit of 24 Plaguebearers, again with full command, and this time the Banner of Swiftness. In special, I've got 2 units of 4 Beasts of Nurgle and a unit of 3 Beasts of Nurgle. I've also got 2 units of 3 Nurglings. And finally, in rare, I've gone back to a single unit of 4 Plague Drones with Musician, Standard Bearer, Plague Proboscis, and the Banner of Eternal Flame. Just like with the 2,000 point list over the 1,500 point list, there isn't actually a lot to add in to make this 2,500 points. You'll already have enough Nurglings from the first list, so all you need to add is another box of Plaguebearers, 5 more Beasts of Nurgle, or 2 more boxes of Descendants of Decay, and another Herald. Now, you could add another Poxbringer for this Herald for £18, as he is the cheapest option from GW. However, they also have the Spoil Pox Scrivener. Now, who is a little more expensive at £21, but he isn't direct only, so you are likely to find him a little cheaper elsewhere. I managed to find him for £15.75 from Boards and Swords. Now, even if this goes up slightly in line with the GW price rise, it's unlikely to be more than the £18 of the Poxbringer. And it also gives you a bit of variety in your heralds, which is always nice. As with before, if you go with the Titan Forged Descendants of Decay, then the extra 5 you need for this list will cost £46.80. If you go with a GW Beast, then it will cost you another £150. And that extra box of Plaguebearers will add another £18 to your total. And that's it. That's all you'd need to make the 2,000 point list I went through earlier into this 2,500 point list. So what would that all come to? Well, assuming you've gone for the Spoil Pox Scrivener from Boards and Swords and the Titan Forged Descendants of Decay, that will bring the final total to £317.35. Now, that does feel like quite a lot, and it's not helped by the fact that Games Workshop don't currently produce a Start Collecting box for Daemons of Nurgle. They did until recently, but have seemingly removed it from their web store, which is a shame. Now, that could mean they're bringing out a new one soon, as the other 3 gods all have their own Start Collecting boxes still, but for now there is no easy way to save money on the Denizens of Nurgle. You do have some options in the models that you've bought for sort of different list builds. You've got 5 spare Plaguebearers. You also have a spare Beast of Nurgle if you went with the Descendants of Decay option. And you also have 2 spare Plague Drones, which you could use to split that unit of 4 into 2 units of 3, like we did in the second list, or just make a single larger unit. Now, a small note of caution is bases. As ever, you will need to source these separately, as a lot of the models are supplied with incorrect base sizes or shapes for Warhammer Fantasy. I've found the best Games Workshop equivalent bases are from Tiny Worlds Wargaming. They all come with a slot on the underside of the base to make magnetising them really simple, and they also sell magnets and movement trays so you can get everything you need in one place. We're just going to look at bases here though, and at £3.99 for 20 20mm square bases, or £14.99 for 100 20mm square bases, both either with or without slots, they're really good value for money. And to base all the models you'd need for these 3 armies would cost you just £41.95. Now that's a set of 100 25mm square bases for £14.99. Now you only actually need 62, but they only sell them in sets of 20, and it's cheaper to buy 100 than it is to buy 80. So you may as well buy the 100. It's also one set of 25 40mm square bases for the Beasts of Nurgle and the Nurglings. Again, you only need 17, but it's cheaper to buy 25 than it is 20. And one set of 50mm square bases for Epi, and 2 sets of 3 75 by 50mm bases for the Plague Drones. If you are set on sticking to a single god build for your demons, then you don't really have too many other options available to you, simply because there aren't many other Nurgle units that we haven't used. You could go with a Nurgle Demon Prince or a Great Unclean One. You could also add in some Nurgle Furies or a Nurgle Soul Grinder, but that really is it. Whichever way you decide to go, if you're going mono or even just majority Nurgle though in competitive play, then including Epi in the list really is a no-brainer. I hope today's snippet has helped you understand what I believe are the best choices for a competitive Nurgle Demons army, and hopefully it's shown you little ways to save a bit of money too. If you've got any suggestions you think we missed, or if you want to know what we would use for certain units that are no longer available from Games Workshop, head over to any of our socials at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, or email us directly, all of the links for which are below, and we'll do our best to help you out. Make sure you join us next time for another instalment in our Blind for Beginners series, where we'll look at one of the other armies of the Warhammer world. But for now, head back to the Night of the Realm Mustering Ground, where you can find links to all of our other exclusive content.
Remember to tag your friends and like, subscribe and share. Then head over to triplecrownwargaming.com and become a Knight of the Realm today.
What are you doing, mate?
You alright?
Do it for Warhammer!